Hello my friends, my name's Rena. If you're new here then welcome. I'm super excited for today's video, although I think by the time you see this video it's gonna be in a few months time. I might just drop my chair a little bit so you can see the head a little bit better. Yeah, what are we doing? We are doing a makeup get ready with me and we're testing new Australian makeup, which is one of my favorite Australian makeup brands, designer brands. Ding, ding, ding. They just recently come out with new stuff. Radiant Glow Tinted Moisturiser SPF 15. This one has 4 shades. I picked the second darkest. No. Oh, I picked light. I was meant to pick medium. It will work. The problem is they only have 4 shades. Fair, light, medium and deep. I could use light or medium, and I was thinking picking up medium after testing the concealer, but I ended up still grabbing the shade light, but it will work. The reason I want to get medium is because it is so similar to the brightening concealer, so I want to have a brightening effect. I need to get a slightly deeper shades. So the concealer is called Easy Under Eye Brightening Concealer, and again we have 4 shades, fair, light, medium and deep. I've got in the shade fair. If I go shade light, it's really similar to the foundation light as well, and is somewhat even close to the shade medium in the foundation. So the range can definitely improve. The other one that I purchased is this cheek product called Sweet Cheeks Liquid Blush. I've got in the shade Papaya. They have 3 shades and I love all of them, at least from the store that I went. I need to check online to see if they have more other shades. I took a photo, I'll insert it here. The first one is the light pink shade, I forgot the name, and then the middle one is Papaya, and then a slightly darker, like a rose blush type of color. I do have a cream blush from designer brands, looks really like the lighter pink, so I was like, I choose something slightly more vibrant. They all blends out beautifully. Like when I was swatching there, I want to take all of it, but I know I'm on a low buy, not actually low buy, but I'm trying to minimize my inventory. I want to get rid of a little bit of things that I've got first to test them out to see if I really like them or not before I expand my range all over again. And obviously when you purchase 3 products from designer brands, you get a free gift. The free gift they're currently having is a wash hairband, but the store that I went in had a leftover previous free gift. It's a pencil sharpener for makeup. I do really like this one because it's a dual end. They have one side with just the regular pencil, and then they also have a jumbo pencil. If a makeup review is a thing that you enjoy to watch, don't forget to keep on watching this video and consider checking other content on my channel, and then you consider subscribe. I think by the time you're seeing this video, I'm on my way climbing to 1500 subscribers. If I ever reach 1500 subscribers, I'm gonna do a mini giveaway because I just actually have quite a lot, and I have a lot that I want to give you guys. So hopefully that happens around Christmas time, then it will be a slightly special additional Christmas gifts to some of you guys. So without further ado, let's just dive into it. I will quickly prime my face. I haven't done that. I was meant to do it, but I forgot. I've just done the Sephora primer that in my project pan, and I opened this one and it's already oozing out. That's the problem with a squeezing tube, and that's not just because designer brand. If you go with any other brands, it will be the same. So I've got a little bit on the finger, and this is the color. I don't think it's a bad color. I do found that this will probably looking really good on me, and especially on the day you don't want to put a lot of effort in because it's so easy to blend. It's very, very nourishing, and it's got a cooling effect as well. So I do really enjoy the texture, and when I did testing in store, I was like, oh my god, this feels good. This one does contain SPF 15, and it claims to be a new go-to for healthy looking glow. This is a clever combination of skincare benefits and light diffusing pigments. It's a tint 2-in-1 that complex your skin and become your new best friend. So speaking of skincare ingredient, we have hyaluronic acid, vitamin C and niacinamide, and this is an oil-free sheer finish formula. Helps to plump, brighten and improve skin tone for a truly radiant glow. And it says you can use excuse me, just a fingerprint sponge or brush to buff it all around. I'm someone is a fingerprint and a sponge person at the moment. I had years when I was really loving brush. Now I'm just like, no, I've moved away from that. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm mainly gonna use my fingerprint all over it. It's already a little bit messy. I don't like it when it's brand new. I'm gonna clean it. It is super runny. I just try a little squeeze and this much came out and it's just running down. Okay. Tinted moisturizer was popular for a while. If you guys know what they're duping from, like where are they got the inspiration, just let me know because I couldn't think of anything came out recently and it feels super hydrating. It's like, oh my god, I feel like I'm putting on a moisturizer. Seriously, no kidding. And we're just gonna blend it in. I wouldn't count their SPF 15 and frankly I would prefer they don't have it so that I can keep this in my collection for even longer period, but a lot of my foundations do have SPFs and then I still just keep them even though the SPF expires unless it starts to smell a bit funky. It's just I don't use it and 15 is really not a thing and it's not even broad spectrum, so it's only for burning, so it really not making a huge difference. I do think this amount is a little bit too much for what I prefer. It does feel still really nice. What am I gonna do is to use sponge to kind of buff it in, otherwise I feel like they're sitting on my skin and the sponge can soak up the sort of excessive product as well. I did spray my sponge with a setting spray. I'm using the Sevi by Designer Brands. Oh, that's also by Designer Brand. I'm gonna film a separate video after this, but you will see in the reverse order. You'll see the other video first because that's a free gift box unboxing with purchase from Priceline. And I just couldn't wait to tell you that I really hate that Priceline store. Most of the Priceline, like the one that I always go to is really good, but this one is just horrible. I don't want to go into too much details because it's irrelevant, but the overall effect, it's really good. It's definitely a sheer finish and the color actually matches pretty good. The other thing I worry about tinted moisturizer is they oxidize, so hopefully not. We do have 40 ml in here. I didn't realize that's more than the standard and the price is $19.99 if I was correct. Now I don't feel like I need to set my face because it's actually feeling pretty matte already. I really enjoy it. I don't think it's given radiant, super glowy ones that we see these days. I've reviewed a few, they're like very glowy, but this is actually a preferred finish that I would like. So moving on, let's go for the concealer. Easy Under Eye Brightening Concealer. Ooh, I did not know the design because the tester, it's a completely different tube, but this looks cool. Okay, so just squeezing product out. It's like an eye cream. I would still just put it on my hand and then dab it because this feels slightly odd from a makeup. This is a skin brightening concealer and serum combo. Okay, that's why they do the design. The serum is hyaluronic acid peptide infused to hydrate, plump, and firm the under eye area. I noticed it was very lightweight and very liquid as well. It doesn't feel like heavy. It's almost like a foundation rather than a concealer. And I think I've got a little bit too much. But we're gonna try under the eye. And with under eye, I actually use my fingerprint a lot. See this shade? It's really similar to the foundation, just a smidge lighter. Like sometimes I would go for something way lighter to really brighten the under eye, and I don't think this will be the one. Or not with this shade of foundation. I have to go one shade darker, but ooh, I think I apply a little bit too much, right? Okay, so this is where I come with the sponge. Can you see a visible differences? I can see that in front of my, like a big Hollywood mirror. In my small mirror, it was very, very minimal differences. Alright, we're gonna try on the other eye, but I'm gonna really minimize the amount. It does feel just like an eye cream. It was very moisturizing. Even if you're like me, I dragged under my eyes, it doesn't feel heavy and it's not cakey. That's pretty impressive. Did I just go foundation on my hair? I should put my hair up. Alright, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Okay. Brightening, I think there is some sort, and the smaller area actually looks better because this was just too much an area of all brighten up. But I'm gonna try to cover the sunspot here that I've got. I'm currently using a sunspot treatment cream to get rid of it. There's very minimal change so far that I've seen, but I think it covers really well. I just had a couple dots right on it, just with my fingerprint, and it actually covers better than a lot of the other high coverage ones, because those tend to go too cakey. Sorry, I went off screen for a minute. So I have to really blend, and once you blend, it goes away. This is just the perfect heaviness that I want, the perfect coverage. Let's try this pimple spot here. Not so much over here because it's more for brightening, and this is a really dark pimple, acne residual left with him. So far, I'm really impressed by the two products. They're both very, very liquidy, so I got a huge mass all around my hands. You need to make sure you use a tiniest amount, and I kind of hope the foundation would have a little bit of different, you know, the squeezing tube, but it's like a teeny tiny one, not this big one, because there's just a whole chunk just came out. But moving on, we're getting into the complexion product. I have to show you one of my favorite of their complexion product, which are their cream ones. I don't feel like I need to set even my under eye because it's really, really like matte already, like it's set now. I might set it once I finish my eye makeup just to sweep off some of the eyeshadows as well as to set under the eye, but so far I'm really happy. So the cream product from the line is called Quick Fix. I feel like I've already tried this before, but I took this when I went to Hong Kong, and that's the most easiest, beautiful complexion that I wouldn't go wrong even at the too heavy-handed. It's just there. You can pair with a powder, you can use it by itself, depends on how you feel like it. So I've got contour, highlighter, and one of their cream blush, but I'm testing this blush, so we're gonna go with these first. The cream bronzer is in the shade Sunny. I don't think they have another one. They probably just have one shade. I've had tons of use of it already. What I usually do is just to dot over here, and then I just go ahead. You can actually use the brush on the other side. It's a dual product. The brush actually works. The first couple of times when I was using it, I didn't think the brush was working, and when I went travel, I didn't have that many brushes with me, so I just like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a go, and it really works. It does take a bit of time. If you have preferred brush at home, it will work quicker, and I agree, it definitely will looks a little bit easier, quicker to blend in, etc. But if you don't and you rely on this brush, it works. So when I was in Hong Kong, I was using this brush, but once I'm home, I'm thinking I'm gonna use my brush. My spooling brush, I didn't brush like brushes, it's still got a bit of blush color on. Well, I'll do. This one is bigger and fluffier and yet still somewhat dense, so it really just quickly get rid of the cream so they're not patchy all around. How it blends in just nicely. It's really what it's called seamlessly. So far, I found I reach the designer brands the most because it's not super liquid, it's cream, so it's got some heaviness to it. It's got definitely a contouring effect to it, but it's not so strong. I often do a little bit over here as well. This one retails for $16.99 or $16.95, something like that. So that's my contour. Every time when I brush, because I have, not rosacea, I just have this reddish, like genetic cheek there, it will look very red. You just have to let it set and then it'll look better again because I was just continuously brushing around it. And you don't have to set it, but if you want to, you can. It is a tiniest sticky, a tiniest bit. You probably noticed my hair was kind of over on top. It is a little bit sticky. So what I want to do is to set with a really light bronzer, powder bronzer. I've got this Essence Sun Club Matte Bronzing Powder for darker skin. This one is so light to the point every time I use it by itself, I have to scroll over and over and over again. Especially for my skin, you can just barely see it. So it's perfect for me as a setting powder, bronzer setting powder, if that makes sense. So I just kind of went over the area where I did the contour. Moving on to the liquid blush, I've got in the shade Papaya, and it comes with a doe foot applicator as well. It's a really like slightly fat and short doe foot. I'll show you the swatch over here. It's quite a vibrant color, but it blends out so easily. Everything in this line that I purchased, I just like how it's so easily blend. And see, when you blend it out, it can sheer out to a really beautiful color. So if you have a lighter skin tone, because my skin on the inner arm is a bit lighter, it will looking really pretty. And it just dries down like it's a matte now. I do think I have to quickly work into it. So I'm thinking, should I dab it on my hand? Should I dab it on my arm? I think I'll dab it on my arm and then I'll just pick some and then blend it on my cheek myself. I'm just gonna use a fingertip method to start with. Don't tell me this is too much because I can see it's really cheeky. Alright, time for the stippling brush. It's got a very summer breeze to it. If you like a heavy blush, I think you can definitely achieve with this one. I'm someone prefer a slightly lighter version of it, and I feel like I could have a little bit too much. But it doesn't look bad. It just looks like I have this sunburnt look. It's super sunburned, I think the same case in front of the camera as well as in the mirror. So, and I don't want to use the brush because since like smoothing away product, I'm going to use my sponge to blend it in a little bit. Don't get me wrong, I still really like this formula. I just think I haven't figured out the best way of applying it on my first go. Next time I'll use fingerprint and quickly go with a sponge. I think that will be a better method because sponge is mimicking the finger. And then we're going for the highlighter, which is also the cream product from Designer Brands. This is in the shade Bubbly. I think they only have one shade of highlighter and one shade of bronzer. So you can just use it directly on top of it, but because I just applied that blush, I don't want to move it away. So I'm just going to put a little bit on my fingertip and then dab over it. It's a very like subtle champagne-ish color. It's one of those classic highlighter color that you can think of. Like you think of a color from a highlighter that it doesn't go wrong, that everyone can use it. This is the color you're getting from it. But if you're after a little bit more different color tone highlighter, then you won't have it from this one. The blush definitely need to play with a little bit more with the method and how I'm using it, but everything else looks pretty good. My brows earlier, my lips is so no color, so it's like super pale. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this off camera, and then we'll be coming back to give a further, like a final review of this makeup. Okay, so I've done the full makeup. I was testing one last time on the palette, eyeshadow palette, and I think I'm gonna let it go. And I was really feeling like red lips, although I don't think A fits the rest of the makeup, but I'm just like, I wanted to go for a red lip. I think I watched one of my own video because I was going through some numbers of my empties, and I really enjoy the the makeup look that I had in that video, but I can't exactly remember what I did in that video. Anyway, let's do a quick final check-in on the makeup. I think the foundation with this Radiant Glow Tinted Moisturiser SPF 15 is a win for me. I really enjoy how it looks like, and because it's not super glowy, I can actually pair it with an even glowier primer, because a lot of the glowy primers these days are too glowy. Like, I don't want to use a matte foundation with it because they're meant to be matte, but I don't want to use a glowy foundation and then it's like super dewy. This is actually good to pair with those, in my personal opinion. But if you want to get a radiant glow just based on itself, I don't think it's a sheer glow. It's a little bit sheer, but it's more towards to a not semi-matte, just like a natural finish. It's not like radiant in my opinion, it's just okay. The concealer, it's the thing that I want to quickly show you. I do still think it brightens the under eye and it does cover okay, but I don't know if you can see now because I used a powder to get rid of some of the eyeshadows. It was creasing quite a bit under my eyes, and because I didn't set it and then it felt like it was all self-set, it kind of just faded away because I did apply all these face products. So next time when I'm using it, I'm going to use less amount of it and then set it. So maybe go through a couple of times and set it quickly and see if that helps. So straight away, I don't like this versus some of other concealers from the brand, designer brand. I like their ceramide concealer so much. It's like in my bathroom every day. If I need to, in a rush on a go, I would definitely use that one. Then for the blush, it's looking okay. I do like it. And I feel like with the lights on, it emphasized my natural cheek more than the blush. But in looking in the mirror, the blush blends in nicely. However, it is somewhat lifting, not the product underneath, but I feel like the brush that I was using was lifting the blush color. So again, it's the method of using it, need to kind of work around it. But none of the product I was really hating. I do think for a first time impression, I am really happy with all the things, especially the base product. I can see I almost fell in love straight away. And if you haven't tried their cream, please do so. Just pick one that you really enjoy, and then I feel like you'll be more into it. I'm hoping if I declutter cut a bit, and then I can just purchase all of the shades from the cream one. The Quick Fix cream bronzer, highlighter, and their blush, I do love them. Like, really one of my favorites. That is all for now, and I'll see you a little bit later today. We're 12:30 now. I probably will see you at least in a few hours time. I don't know how long I'll make it for the next check-in, but yeah, it won't be finished right over here, so stay tuned. And we are now 5:08. I think I finished my makeup by 12 or 12:30, so we're reaching towards that 5 hours mark. I haven't reapplied anything, but I did kind of touch up the area under my eyes because I had some smudging, so just kind of removing the smudges. Looking at the foundation base, I'm still really happy. Hasn't oxidized anything like that, so the shade stays true to itself. For a tinted moisturizer, that's one thing that I feel like a lot of the moisturizers, especially if they're not tinted foundation, if they're tinted moisturizers, a lot of them tend to oxidize, but this one's not. That's really good. And the areas where I tend to have problem, like around my forehead, looks cakey. No, it looks good. And around my nose, it tends to kind of bulk up. I think it has a little bit, not to the point that I can't deal with it, and if I just gently pat it in, it will look a lot better. I think it's a really good one that I want to continue use it. Next time I'll use much lesser product to begin with and build it up, see how I go. I might even try with a brush to see if I can push things in a little even further. And then for the concealer, I do think the brightening effects is there. Like, I definitely feel like under eyes are so much brightened than other areas that I haven't applied it on. But it did crease into, I have lines there. I don't know if you can see. Like, if you don't touch it, you can't tell. But if I'm push, I definitely still see the creases. That is a little bit of a bummer, and I already tried to smooth it out when I first applied it and it still creased on me. So it's just one of the things. I might have to set it properly next time, see if that works, Coverage is definitely just a light coverage, and there is a bit of wear off. Like this sunspot, it was covering well, now it's kind of coming out. So not a huge fan for concealer. I don't think you'll get disappointed by using it, but definitely not wowed by choosing it. I would say the foundation is something I like more than a concealer. Then for the blush, I do think the color stays on. Like I can still see where I applied is still there. And although I felt like I applied a lot, as I'm wearing throughout the day, I think the color slightly faded just a little bit. I will try a different way of using it next time to see if I can make most of the product stay more up in the cheekbone, because that's where I notice a bit of lifting, removing of the blush, not the underneath product, but the blush while I was like dabbing. I feel like I'm just removing it as I'm applying it, if that makes sense. So I do really enjoy the color and I like how it's set on the skin, but I need to work on the way how to get it on my skin before it sets. Overall speaking, I'm still really impressed with the product coming from designer brand, and they never ever let me down. So let me know what you think of today's video. Did you found the 3 products were kind of in your alley even before the review starts? Would that be something you want to go ahead and purchase? And what do you want to see more from me in terms of makeup review? Do you have a foundation in mind? Do you have some sort of base product? Whatever products you're kind of eyeing but haven't gone ahead and purchased that you want me to review, just let me know. I am definitely not a makeup artist, but I do like to play with makeup, and just to give you guys my personal honest opinion on the new things that I try with you guys. That is pretty much for today. I hope you stay safe and stay positive. Don't forget to give me a like and consider subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!